What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update as we delve deep into the incomings and outgoings outside of Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Starting off with a name which you're all familiar from last transfer window, Sofyan Amrabat. Santi Ayouna saying that Tottenham are among the clubs interested in Amrabat alongside Barcelona and Bayern Munich. The Fiorentina midfielder has already spoken to Xavi and wants to join Barcelona, but FFP might stop that. Atletico Madrid are also in talks with his agent. So you think we stand a chance against these names?
Well, third time lucky, Sofyan Amrabat. I think we've got him from a few times, haven't we?
His stats have grown dramatically since we were last linked with him.
I know, because when we were first linked with him, everyone was like, "Who's this guy? He can't get in the Fiorentina team. Don't even look at him." It was classic, another Levy signing, and then he had an amazing World Cup, and ever since then, his stock has risen. Obviously, Fiorentina got to the Conference League final. He had another great game there. So, yeah, his stock has risen massively. I do think when I look at the players we have, I think Bissouma and Bentancur are very similar to how Amrabat likes to play. But Amrabat is much more of a kind of anchor in midfield than I would say Bentancur is. Maybe not Bissouma. I think he's done that for Brighton, but I think Amrabat could play that number 6 role with his dribbling ability, depending on how Postecoglou wants his players. Sorry?
What's his passing like?
He's a good passer. He's a good passer. He's not like an adventurous passer, but he's a good passer. He wouldn't play many through balls or anything like that.
You think his role at number 6 is more suited to Bentancur at number 6?
I'm not sure. I'm mixed on it. I think Amrabat's probably a bit more suited to that role, in my opinion, the number 6 than Bentancur is. Although I think Bentancur could do it. Depends how much money again we have to spend. Again, I don't think it's a massive priority. I do think Bissouma and Bentancur could play that role that he would come in to do. So we have 2 players who could fulfill that role anyway. So I don't know if it's worth spending the money, but if he sees Amrabat as someone who specifically could play the number 6 more than some other our players, I guess it would be worth it. I wouldn't be against it. He's a good player. He is a good player. I think I'd rather someone who's more specialised passer than him, in my opinion. But obviously, Postecoglou might have other ideas.
The way I look at Amrabat compared to the midfielders that we have in our squad, I feel like he's a much better destroyer in the middle than probably anyone that we have in our team, to be honest. And I think he could complement maybe the players we have well. I don't know if he fits like a kind of Postecoglou system, though, in that sense.
That's the thing. I don't know if he's the 6, the 8, or the 10. I'm not sure which one he really fits, because we know from Morocco and Fiorentina he kind of plays at the base of the midfield. But is he the kind of guy that Postecoglou wants to? I think, you want someone who's just a bit more passing specific, but maybe he's happy with someone who's really good, like driving the ball like Amrabat is.
I think if we were to get rid of Højbjerg, I think Amrabat would be like a good upgrade on Pierre. But apart from the other midfielders, I probably wouldn't want to see Amrabat in the team above maybe a Bissouma and a Bentancur, to be honest. I think they've got more quality on the ball than maybe Amrabat has. But alongside a Højbjerg, I wouldn't mind seeing him come in as the most defensive midfielder in the team.
Yeah. I just think it depends how much money it's going to cost as well. I wouldn't start splashing on him, and it's going to take away from other players. I think again, it has to be something that once we get our priorities right, then we can get him in.
All right, let's move on and let's talk about a name that nobody wants to hear once again, and that is Harry Maguire. Miguel Delaney saying that Spurs are one of the few clubs considering Maguire, but initially only on a loan. Fancy Maguire on loan?
Yeah, let's get him in. Let him prove himself. No, I'm joking. I don't honestly. I don't think this is a goer. I think it's. I don't think Spurs are seriously interested in Harry Maguire. I think it's more of a club thing. Maybe the club are looking at him. I don't think it's coming from the manager, in my opinion.
These club signings, man. Enough of it.
I know they're never going to end. They're never going to end. I mean, on a loan deal, I don't know. I don't want it to happen.
Don't try and convince yourself, Sim. Don't try it.
I don't want it to happen, but I can see the club being interested in a loan deal. I can, to be honest.
I just know, man. We need to be going for higher caliber. We need to be getting proper players in to reassure this defense, to get this defense better. And Harry Maguire just is not an upgrade on anything. To be honest, yeah, maybe he
I
might
think
be
I
an
think he is an upgrade actually.
upgrade on Davinson Sanchez, maybe, but not. It's not the upgrade that we need. Is what I'm trying to say.
I agree, but I do think he's better than Longley. I do think he's better than Sanchez. I think he's better than every other centre back except Romero. To be honest, I think he comes into the PSG's second best centre back, but that's not hard. So I wouldn't say that's like an impressive thing. But I do think he is an upgrade on what we have.
You know what? I think I might even prefer Longley over Maguire. Maybe it's just because he's got a nicer name, but I don't know. I
Maybe.
don't want either of them, to be honest. That's the
Again,
honest
for
truth.
for England, Maguire's fine. Like he's good. Like if you just got the Maguire England playing week in week out, like I'm not saying he would be good for us. I'm just saying he's definitely better than anything else we have.
Yeah, he gets found out in the Premier League though. Like week in week out in the Premier League, whenever he shows up for Man United, I mean, he's a bit of a running joke there, isn't he?
Yeah, of course, because he's not good enough. And that's the reality. And especially United have been a mess, and then they've sorted themselves this season, and a large reason is because they've dropped him. They've gone for even Luke Shaw. They've played ahead of him at centre back because he's not fit for purpose for what Ten Hag needs. But you've got to remember, for Leicester he was very good, and for England he's very good, and also for that 1 year under Ollie when they finished second, he had a very good season.
Yeah, we're going to be playing more. We're going to be playing more Ten Hag football than Southgate and Leicester football. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he's just not going to suit our system whatsoever. So why even look at him? It just makes no sense.
I agree.
Let's move on and let's talk about Clement Lenglet now. As Sport are claiming that Tottenham and Barcelona will meet next week to finalise a deal for Clement Lenglet. Spurs could sign him for just €6 million because that would be saving Barca around €30 million in wages.
Wouldn't be saving Tottenham anything. Well, so what is 30 million wages? How is that possible? So how's 30 million?
How long he's got left?
But so what? We get the 30 million in wages then? I don't understand. Like, how is that a benefit to us?
His contract expires in 2026.
Oh wow, long deal. So what? 10 million a season? 4 year we in. That seems quite a lot. Again, huh?
He's got 3 more years, yeah.
Yeah, so 10 more million a season is quite a lot of money. I don't think Lenglet is a bad defender. I don't think he's like horrendous. I just similar to Maguire. I don't think he's a massive upgrade on what we already have. Although I do think again he's probably better than the other players we have in that position right now, especially in the back four. But I don't see the need to spend money on Lenglet when we can be spending money on a younger, hungrier defender with a higher ceiling than someone like Lenglet, who, yes, I think on the ball is a good passer. Maybe Postecoglou could use that. But I just think he's too slow. I think in a back four, he's going to be caught out way too many times. He gets caught out enough in a back three. That's when he has protection. So in a back four, there's going to be a lot of space to run into to run in behind. And teams are going to target him, in my opinion. So I'd rather invest in a younger, faster defender than keep up with a short-term solution and cheap solution like keeping Lenglet around. And we know he's going to need to be upgraded. As soon as we sign him, he immediately becomes the 1 point we need to be upgraded. So what's the point?
Well, the way I look at Lenglet signing for $6 million is that maybe it gives you the authority to maybe get rid of a Sanchez, a Ben Davis, someone like this, just as a backup, someone to sit on the bench, and you sign someone for big money as the starting left centre-back role. I mean, I wouldn't mind Lenglet if it is the backup for $6 million.
I guess if he's backup, I'm not. Again, I'd rather a backup be another. I'd rather sign a younger player as 21-year-old or like Bella Kotchap or something. Sign him as a backup and then go big on a bigger sense back, in my opinion. But
you can't get a Bella Kotchap for $6 million, though. That's the point. Like, if our budget is tight, is tight this summer, then to bring in a sub like Clement Lenglet just purely as a backup role, I don't see too much of a problem with it.
I'm not totally against him coming in as backup. I guess for the short term, but I don't want to start the season and Lenglet is our starting centre back.
Yeah, I mean, the way to play this out, in my opinion, is just if we want to sign him for $6 million, don't sign him and just offer him another loan and take the wages off Barcelona like that.
Could do that.
I think that's a better way to do it. And then we don't have to lay out the money for the transfer. We're not tied down for 3-4 years, whatever it may be. And then next summer, we can look at bringing a higher quality younger player in a backup position.
Sounds like a better solution if depending on how tight our budget is. It probably is very tight. considering there's no Europe. So it makes sense if that's needs must. Would you rather? But for me, if honestly, if Maguire is available on a loan deal, I'd rather him than Longley. I would on loan.
I'm just not sure, man. I mean, to be honest, preferably, I wouldn't want either of them. But I think
if you're offering me 2 loan deals, I'd rather Maguire.
I think I side slightly with Clement Longley. No real reasoning behind it, just because Maguire is just a joke, just an absolute joke, and he gets found out massively in the Premier League.
He'd also be a joke, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually think Longley might see a few more minutes than Maguire in that United team. Look, we're talking about 2 bad players that we don't want in our team. That's probably not going to suit the system. But I think if you were to ask me which one I'd prefer, I'd probably say Longley, but it's not like a big gap there. Yeah, let's talk about the last centre-back we're going to be talking about today, and Victor Nelson of Galatasaray. And apparently a publication in Turkey called Hurriyet is saying that Tottenham have offered 22 million euros for the Danish defender Victor Nelson. Galatasaray are adamant they will not sell for less than 25 million euros. So haggling over 3 million euros here.
Yeah, classic Spurs, but I don't know too much about him. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he was starting for them at the World Cup for Denmark.
He played one game. He played the France game, 90 minutes.
That's the last game, was it? Was that their last game?
Second game, I think.
Second game. He does seem to be a very tall defender. He plays on the left as well. From what I've heard, he's a very good passer. I don't know too much else in terms of what his pace is like. He seems to be tall and strong. It does seem to be a fairly reasonable fee. And he's at a decent age, 24 years old, so he could be getting at a decent time, but I have to do more research into it to see if it would actually be a good signing.
Yeah, I guess if the news hots up on this one, we'll be delving deep into his qualities and his FB refs and all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, yeah, same as you. I don't really know too much about him, but Sean Butler seems to love him. So that's good enough for me.
He loves Longley as well.
Yeah, that's true. So stay away. Stay away. Let's talk about the last story of the update, and that is on Deki. Rahman Osman saying that Tottenham have this week tried to get Juventus to reduce the fee of Dejan Kulusevski from 29.2 million to just around 25 million. The obligatory buy clause is out of the window because Spurs failed to qualify for the Champions League next season. I mean, all this haggling for like 4 million. I mean, just get the deal done, man. This guy he's got such quality. Yeah, he didn't have a good season, but we saw it at the back end of last season how good he can be. I mean, just get this deal done.
Every little helps, as Vet Levy would say.
You're going to end up losing him, though.
Well, it depends when the deal runs out, doesn't it? I don't know when the option runs out. Probably in July, I'd assume. As long as the deal's done by July, I'm really not bothered by it. But if we do put this deal in jeopardy because we want to save 4 million, I'll be furious, 100%. I'm happy for them to haggle over a few million up until the deal is what's called over. But if we go over that deadline and the deal's not done, then we'll just look like idiots.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. So it would be so stupid if we miss out on this deal because of classic Levy haggling. It really would frustrate me so much. But I believe in this guy so much. And I was talking to you the other day, like maybe his role under Postecoglou might not beat that wide winger role. And I think it's probably more suited for Porro to do that role. And maybe he can come in and do that number 10 role really well. I think he's got the attributes for it.
Yeah, I think Postecoglou likes his positional sense, but I think the players can be molded in different ways. So I think Porro can be the right back, but when we're on the ball, can be the wide winger kind of thing. Kulusevski can be that inside number 10, but then off the ball, he goes into a 4-4-2 on the right to press instead. Yeah. So I do think it could work. I do think all those two things can be changed and can work. And I think Kulusevski could definitely be an inside number 10 for Postecoglou for sure.
All right, so there you have it. That is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the players that we've spoken about today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.